Hello everybody, this is Evan with Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today I am bringing you a review of Haiku Warrior. It's a 1 to 4 player game by Jason Anarchy Games, and it takes about an hour to play. So I'm going to take you down to the tabletop, give you an example of how the game is played, then bring you back up for my final thoughts, alright? Alright, so here is a setup for Haiku Warrior. So, the game is actually really kind of pretty simple to set up. So, you are a warrior here, and you are going up against an ancient cult called the Order of the One Extra Syllable. They are bent on creating discord in the world, so they have unlocked an ancient evil, and you and your heroes, using your haiku abilities, are going to stop them. So the game comes with 4 heroes here, and they have their own special cards. Pictures of them on the back here, which actually are kind of important here, and I'll show you why in a little bit. But they'll have different abilities in them. List right there, and I'll have special abilities with them. So we'll talk about that here in a little bit once we get into it a little bit. So as you go through the game, you're going to be doing various quests. So there's a stack of cards that come in the game, and they're labeled right onto the back, Quest 1 all the way through Quest 6. And there's also an alternate mode called Tower of Many Muses, but we won't talk about that right now. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So also in the game is 3 die, so a 4-sided, a 6-sided, and an 8-sided. So you're going to actually use all 3 of those. Also in the game is going to be a little notepad, I guess you would call it. This is where you're going to transfer a lot of information from your character card onto here, and you're going to keep track of inventory, coins, the souls that you collect through the game, and where you keep track of your hit points here. So this is kind of a real basic, simple RPG style game. And one other thing that you're going to need here is this card that comes with the game. This one's really, really important. So one side is the shop of different things that you can buy in there, and it tells you, different weapons that you can buy and their cost. Food, which is HP giving back items. You can get something called bicep oil, which increases your maximum HP. And then lucky cream, which is luck points, which I'll talk about in a little bit. On the back here is a monster attack table. So talk about that here in a little bit also once we get into the cards here in the deck. So once you figure out who you're going to be, so I'm just going to grab the one on the top here. So we're going to be Cora here, and it's going to give you, like, her maximum HP is 8, so we would fill that in here. Starting weapon, and it's also going to give survival, foraging, and treasure hunting, and numbers there. And those are saving throw numbers that you're going to be using, so we would put them right into here. Then you have a starting luck number, which we'll talk about, like I said, a little bit, and the ability. So like Cora's ability here, it says once per quest, Cora can cast a powerful spell doing 6 guaranteed damage to a foe instead of attacking. Pretty cool. So the rounds of the game are pretty simple. So when it's your turn, you do 2 things. You're going to first go to the shop and buy whatever you want. Spend your coin that you have. You can buy anything in there. As long as you got the coin for it, you're good. The second thing that you're going to do, let me move the die out of the way, is you're going to get a card. So you grab the card off the top, flip it over. So in this situation, if you're playing with somebody else, they read the card. They read what it is, so Upset Seagull. And then every single monster card has a haiku in it. Hence the name of the game, Haiku Warrior. So, Upset Seagull, Feathery Doom stares, upset but not quite angry. Dodge the vile droppings. So there's some information here on the card. So, name of what it is. This right here is how many hit points it has. So it needs to get 5 damage before it's gone. The haiku area here. This area down here is what it's going to do when it attacks. Over here, this is the coins that you're going to get when you defeat it, and the souls you're going to get defeated. So souls are how you're going to measure who wins at the end of the game, whoever has the most souls. So you want to do that. You can change coins into souls at 5 to 1 at the very end of the game, but you're more likely going to spend them on the shop for a while. So our hero Cora has flipped over the Upset Seagull. Heroes get to attack first, so you go with whatever your starting weapon is. So they have the Onion Glaive, which is a d6. So you just pick up the d6, roll it. I got a 6. That's how much damage I do to the upset seagull. So 6 is more than 5. So as long as I meet or exceed that, I defeated the creature. Say I rolled a 1. You just keep track of this, on a separate piece of paper or something. So that means the upset seagull would have 4 points left of HP. Now what it would do is it will attack back. So that's where this comes in. You roll a d4. So we'll roll a d4. We got a 3. We go to the third. It says 7. We pick this up. And 7. So the upset seagull is going to seduce us and do 1d6 minus 1 damage. So 5 minus 2. Core is going to take 3 points of damage. You repeat that until you defeat that. But since I rolled 6 originally, we defeated the seagull. So I would just claim that, take the gold, get the soul. Next person would go, and so on and so forth. Say a couple other people went. It would be my turn again. I go to the shop. Do I want to spend now the gold that I have? Yes, no, maybe. Up to me. Only having 2 gold, I could get the Knave Glaive, which is a d8 minus 1. But I think I would save. I would save to try and buy other things. So I just flip the next card. Great Wave. Forgot a raincoat. Charging into adventure. Inconvenient rain. So it says on here, perform a successful saving throw for survival to avoid losing HP. So as I mentioned, you have those 3 skills: survival, foraging, and treasure hunting. So whenever you have to make a saving throw, you pick up all 3 die, you roll them, you add them together. Pretty simple. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 is my results on that. So as long as you roll less than what is your number, you succeed. Pretty basic right there. So the game continues until you get through all the cards for that quest. And then that quest is over. You would move into the next quest, quest 2, and so on and so forth until you get to the very end. Now the one thing I didn't mention was luck. So you have luck points. Luck points, you spend them on a 1-to-1 basis to increase your die rolls. So if you want to hit for a little bit more, like say I was fighting that upset seagull, I did 4 points of damage, but I really wanted to defeat it because it's really early in the game, I could use one of my luck points and change that 4 into a 5. And you can go above the die if need be. You also can subtract on that, so like if I was making the saving throw against this Great Wave and I rolled maximum and all that and I might not pass, I could use those luck points to pull back on that. So, and then you just repeat with all these different things. So, like here's the treasure chest, so you would go and you would try and get some of the magical equipment that's into the game. So, what's really cool is once you get this all transferred onto your character sheet, you don't need this side anymore. You flip it over to the artistic side. I'm going to put it right here. You're going to get hats, which you're going to shuffle up, and you're also going to get boots that you're going to shuffle up. And what's really cool, they're all going to give you different abilities. So like this treasure chest here is if you succeed, you get a pair of boots. So you shuffle these up, shuffle, 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 and this is the one we pull. So while wearing these boots, you get an additional +1 bonus when attacking any dragons. Any monster worth 2 souls is a dragon. So there you go. This too has a haiku there. What I think is really cool, as a reminder of whether you have boots or a hat, you just do that. Same with that. I think it's just a really cool little thing that they put in there with the equipment. Just kind of an easy way to remember. But that's the game in a nutshell. Those are the main quest. So the other alternate mode is the Tower of Many Muses. So in that, it's almost like a survival game. So it's a whole separate deck right here. There's a whole bunch of cards. So you're not going to use all these cards. It depends on how many people are playing, how many cards you're going to have into that deck. And you're not going to be able to buy the healings. And it's basically can I make it through all the cards? So it's just kind of an alternate way to play. Because if you're going through the quest, that can take a little bit longer than if you do the Tower of Many Muses. Kind of a different way to do it. It's a little bit of a shorter game as opposed to going through, the longer game. And then you can... It's played almost identically because you still visit the shop before you flip the deck. So, also, instead of just having straight up just monsters instead, you're going to have the hats and boots actually shuffled into here too, so you're going to be able to find them. But that's really about it for the game. I'm going to take you up from the tabletop here and give you my final thoughts. So, Haiku Warrior here. So, it's a super, super basic RPG. If you want to get an RPG feel for a game, but you don't want to put a lot of thought into the game, if you don't want to put a lot of resources and, for a lack of better terms, effort into it, this is kind of a game style for you. He uses this, with the 3 die and how combat and everything goes for a couple different RPG style games that he has. I would say this is almost like an arcade style RPG. Super basic, super easy, not hard. Can be a little time consuming just because of the amount of quests that are there, with 6 different quests. But you can cut that time down, like I said, on the table if you do the Tower of Many Muses. So it shortens that time down so you can get more game, or more fulfillment into the game and actually complete a whole bunch of stuff and get the game done, as opposed to spending an hour. You might spend 15 to 30 minutes onto it. So if you want a really light filler game that you could play by yourself or with a couple people that like RPGs, this wouldn't be a bad one to pick up for you. I would also say, if you have an affinity for haikus, which, I appreciate them, but I'm not creative enough to make them, this also would be a fun one just to have, just because all the cards have haikus on them. A lot of them are hilarious, and they're very well thought out that they made this many of them relating to each card. I give them props for doing that. And this was originally Kickstarted, and they part of the Kickstarter was they brought in a whole bunch of people to write the haikus for them, famous people from different web cartoons and stuff like that to do that. So really awesome thing that he did with this game too. So like I said, if you're a fan of RPGs, fan of haikus, and you want a really super light game, this is it for you. I would recommend picking that up. But this is everyone with Tabletop Gaming Guild. Hit that subscribe button. Every subscription helps us out immensely. Hit us up in the comments. More things you want to see if you played this game, your thoughts about it. Do that for any of our videos out there. Let us know what you're seeing, what you like, and we're going to try and bring more content to you as fast as we can. Until later, have a good day.